What if you had a calendar that magically filled itself in? It reads your syllabi and already knows your assignments, exams, and deadlines. It watches your email, so when a professor moves a midterm, your calendar updates automatically. It remembers things that don't even have dates yet, so nothing slips through the cracks. It shows you exactly when your Hell Week is coming before it hits. And every morning, it tells you what matters most. So it's not just a calendar, it's also a personal assistant, planner, and coach built specifically for your life as a busy student. Sounds cool, right? Well, I actually built this for myself. I built it inside Claude Cowork using a single prompt. And I use it every day to manage my research, teaching, academic service, and everything else life throws at me. If it can keep my life organized, it'll work just as well for yours. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how to build it. So here's why this matters. The problem isn't that students don't use calendars. The problem is that calendars haven't really evolved. Think about it. Right now, all the information about your semester already exists. It's in your syllabi. It's in your email. It's in course announcements. It's in PDFs and Google Docs. It's scattered all over the place. But somebody has to collect all of that information and manually enter it into a calendar. And that somebody is you, which is exactly why most people never fully do it. Even if you somehow enter everything perfectly, things change. A professor moves a midterm. An assignment gets pushed back. A presentation date gets announced later. Now, you're maintaining a second copy of reality, and before long, your calendar is out of date. But there's an even bigger problem. A huge part of your life doesn't have a date yet. You know you'll have to prepare for finals. You know that presentation is coming. You know that group project milestone will eventually show up. And you know these things are headed your way. You just don't know exactly when. Now, traditional calendars don't know what to do with that uncertainty. And even if they did, they still wouldn't solve the biggest problem of all. See, a calendar can't tell you what exists. It can't tell you what matters, what to start early, and it can't tell you which week is about to become a disaster. It can't tell you what deserves your attention today. That's because traditional calendars are really just storage systems. What students actually need is a decision-making system, something that automatically gathers information, keeps itself up to date, tracks things that are still uncertain, and helps you figure out what to do next. That's exactly what we're going to build. Before we build this, one quick thing. This setup depends on a previous video, and I'll link it in the description. In that video, we create what I call a Life HQ central folder. It's just one folder that contains your classes, notes, your projects, and the rest of your life. In that video, we also connect your email and your existing calendar. If you've already done that, you're ready to go. If not, I encourage you to watch that video first and then come back because everything we're about to do builds on top of it. Okay, down in the description, there's a file you'll need in a second. Go ahead and download it. Now I'm going to open Claude Desktop and switch over to Cowork. And yes, it has to be Cowork. It can't be the browser tab. It can't be the regular Claude chat. Cowork is the version that can actually open your folders and work with the files inside them. So the first thing I check is that Claude is connected to my Life HQ folder. If yours isn't connected yet, do that now. Just point Claude at that folder and make sure it can see everything inside. Once it's done, I take the file from the description, paste the whole thing into Claude, and hit send. That's it. Seriously, that's the build. Now, don't panic if nothing seems to happen immediately. The first run takes about 30 minutes, but you only have to do it once. After that, keeping everything current usually takes just a few seconds of talking to Claude. 30 minutes today, and then it works for the rest of the semester or school year. So what exactly is happening during those 30 minutes? Claude is opening your folders, it's reading your syllabi, it's reading your notes, it's reading your emails, it's reading your calendar, and it's hunting for every commitment, deadline, event, exam, meeting, and task it can find. Then it takes all of that information and organizes it into a single structured table inside your Life HQ, and that table becomes the source of truth. Everything you're about to see is built from it. So there it is, my entire calendar built. It opens in a panel on the right side of Cowork and gets saved as something called Master Calendar. You can rename it whatever you want. So I'm not rebuilding this thing every day. I can close Claude, come back next week, open the same task, and it's all still there. Now here's the part people don't expect. You use this calendar by talking to it. See this message box down here? It's the same box you'd use to chat with Claude, except now you're talking directly to your calendar. Let me show you. I type, I've got a group project meeting this Thursday at 3 p.m. in the library, and I hit enter. Watch what happens. The calendar reads the sentence, figures out the date and time, adds the meeting, and redraws itself. Done. No forms, no drop-down menus, no clicking through 6 different screens, just English. So let me do another one. I start working weekends now, every Saturday and Sunday starting next week. Hit enter. This time it recognizes that it's recurring, and just like that, every Saturday and Sunday gets added across the rest of the term. And it works the other way too. I can ask questions like, what do I have this week? It tells me. What's my next exam? It tells me. Which week is going to hurt the most? It points me right to it. Every answer comes straight from the calendar in plain English. Now let me show you what it's actually built. Up top, I've got month, week, and day views, the traditional calendar views. Month gives me the shape of the entire term. Week lets me zoom into the details hour by hour. But this next one is one of my favorites. Next 7 days, ranked. Instead of showing things by date, it shows them by effort. The big exam floats to the top, the quick assignments fall to the bottom. Because when you've got 10 things competing for your attention, the question isn't what's due first, the question is what deserves your attention first. And then there's this, the load heat map. This is every week of the term, colored by how heavy the workload is. The light weeks are manageable, the darker weeks are where things start getting serious. And that dark red week, that's the wall, the week where everything lands at once. The difference is that now I can see it in a month before it happens, while I still have time to do something about it. And then there's the coach tab. This is probably the feature I end up using the most. The calendar stops simply showing me what's coming, it starts helping me think. Notices the heavy weeks coming up and tells me what I should get ahead on while things are still quiet. It points out the lighter weeks where I finally have room to breathe and can pull work forward. It even reminds me about the things that don't have deadlines but still matter, like reconnecting with a professor before I ask for a recommendation, or catching up with a mentor I've been meaning to reach out to. It's the difference between a calendar that stores your schedule and one that actually coaches you through your semester. So one thing you need to understand about how this works, because this is where people usually get confused. The calendar only knows what it can actually see. It can see your Life HQ folders because you've connected it. It can see your email. It can see your existing calendar. That's it. So let's say you have recurring chores, rent, groceries, a weekly club meeting. If those things are written down somewhere inside Life HQ, this calendar can find them and add them. But if you mention them once in some random chat with Claude, never save them anywhere, the calendar has no way of knowing they exist. So here's the rule. If something matters, give it a home inside Life HQ. Then whenever you add new information, come back to this same task and say, rescan my Life HQ and pick up anything new. That's it. The calendar rereads everything, finds what's changed, and updates itself. Your folder becomes the source of truth, and the calendar simply reflects what's inside them. Now, here's the part almost nobody does. And honestly, this is the thing that turns this from a calendar into a coach. You have to tell it about you. So on that shot box, you have to give it context about yourself. Out of the box, it knows your deadlines. That's useful, but it doesn't know your goals. It doesn't know what you're trying to accomplish. It doesn't know where you struggle. So tell it. Tell it which relationships matter. Maybe there's a professor you want to build a connection with. Maybe there's an alumni network you're trying to break into. Maybe there's a mentor you want to stay in touch with. Tell it your goals. Maybe there's one class you absolutely want to ace this term. Maybe you're aiming for a consulting job. Maybe you're trying to land a research assistantship. And be honest about how you operate. If you procrastinate, tell it. If you tend to overload your schedule, tell it. If you always underestimate how long things take, tell it. The more context it has about your life, the better the advice becomes. Because now it isn't just looking at dates, it's looking at dates in the context of what actually matters to you. And the best part is that you don't configure any of this through menus or settings. You just tell it right here in the same conversation. And one more thing, don't think of this as a finished calendar. Think of it as a starting point, because you can keep customizing it just by talking to it. Maybe you want a morning briefing every day, your top 3 priorities. You can add that on your calendar. Maybe you want a motivational quote from your favorite leaders featured prominently up top. Tell it. Maybe you wanted to remember birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, and important milestones, and then a week beforehand remind you to buy a gift, send flowers, or write a thoughtful message. Tell it. Maybe you wanted to notice when your life is getting out of balance. Too many late nights, no gym for 2 weeks, no downtime before finals, and gently nudge you before you burn yourself out. Tell it. The point is, You don't have to wait for someone else to build the feature you want. If you can describe it, Claude can usually build it. Here's one more pro tip. If your university publishes its academic calendar, and almost everybody's school does, you can simply tell Claude to go find it. For example, here at UC San Diego, the academic calendar is public. So I tell it to pull in things like the first day of classes, holidays, add drop deadlines, final exam week, and all the other important dates. It adds those to the calendar too. The more context you give it, the smarter your calendar becomes. Now, before you go build this, there's one thing I want you to take away. This calendar is just the first dashboard of the many that we will be building together. It's one example of a much bigger idea. What we're really doing is taking information that's scattered across your life and turning it into something that helps you make better decisions. A calendar is an obvious place to start because everybody already feels the pain of a massive schedule. But the exact same idea works for a difficult class, for your job search, for your finances, for your research project. So the pattern stays the same. Take the chaos, collect it in one place, turn it into something you can actually use, and then let AI help you make sense of it. That's the bigger idea. This calendar just happens to be our first example. So in the next few videos, we are going to build more of these dashboards together, one step at a time. So if that sounds useful, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.